All right, so let's take a look at this exchange between Nancy Mace and Jasmine Crockett.
We got there because I tried to make it clear how meaning civil rights, it doesn't just boil down to one conversation, but I can see that somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or not.
Do not call me a child. I am no child.
I want to find out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those emails actually have. Chairman, I'm reclaiming my time.
You will not do that. I am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside.
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not
okay,
in order.
Order. Chair.
Okay, so they're going to have a further conversation here, and then I'm going to go back and get more of the context. This has to do with whether or not you should have males playing female sports. So Nancy Mace is against that, and Jasmine Crockett, I think, is for it. I don't know. Nancy Mace is against having males play women's sports, and then Jasmine Crockett is talking about civil rights, and she's talking about having it go into subcommittee, this issue. So they're going to go back and forth on this, so let's keep listening.
Recognizes Ms. Crockett.
No, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
State your point.
Is it allowed in the rules for a member to incite violence against another member? I mean, she said she wants to take it outside with...
Hey, I have the First Amendment right to.
And so, I'd like those words to be taken down. I am moving to have those words taken down. I believe it's against the rules to
going outside doesn't
incite violence against another.
Have a conversation that.
Okay, so this is so fascinating, right? Mr. Frost says that he believes that it's against the rules. What rules? The procedure rules, the House rules, the Constitution, the federal laws. Like, what rules are you talking about? He said he believed it's against the rules. He believes that it's against the rules. Later on, they're going to, the chair, you're going to have the guy, let's see, what's his name, with the white hair. Let's see, he's going to say later on he thinks it's against rules or what rules, and nobody can point to the damn rule that they're talking about. What rule? What rule are you talking about? So that's the first thing. You know, we're going to sit there and say that they just broke the rules. Hey, you just said, why don't you take it outside? You want to take this outside? And then you heard what Nancy Mace said. She said that it's a First Amendment thing. And then she says, oh, I was just going to go out and have a conversation. Aren't y'all having a conversation right now? Maybe you're grandstanding. It's all public, so maybe you can have a private conversation. Yeah, I can kind of understand, but I also know that that's a bullshit excuse. That's a bullshit excuse. Do you want to take it outside? So where is the dividing line? Where is the dividing line? Let me read to you Leviathan. Leviathan, the law of nature, number 8, against contumely. Because this also goes to the Chaplinsky decision. This goes to the First Amendment. And because all signs of hatred or contempt provoke to fight, in so much as most men choose rather to hazard their life than not to be revenged, we may in the 8th place for a law of nature set down this precept, that no man by deed, word, countenance, or gesture declare hatred or contempt of another, the breach of which law is commonly called contumely. So don't be contuming me, bro. Don't be contuming me. So, contumely. Let's read what the rule was. This is a law of nature, so if you're just out in the jungle and it's just you two, then you say, well, what's reasonable, what's not reasonable? No person by deed, word, countenance, or even gesture declare hatred or contempt of another. There have been, people could look at people in a way. They could just look down on them like they're, a scumbag. They could walk into their space. They could, call them a son of a bitch, 20 times. And he's saying that if we want peace, then we can't be contuming each other. We can't say anything. We can't do anything. We can't even have a gesture where we're expressing hatred or contempt of the other person. Now, the Chaplinsky decision comes into this also. So, let's take a listen.
The committee will suspend, the member will state the words he wishes taken down.
Where she said that we can take it outside, which is direct violation against the rules, inciting violence against another member.
What rule?
Pay attention if you want free groceries for the rest of the year. There's a new benefit for American seniors called the health spending.
What rule? Fight the rule.
How does that incite violence?
Mr. Chairman, there are, if I might point out, Mr. Chairman, there are decorum rules in the House of Representatives.
And the two parliamentarians are discussing this right now. We'll suspend for a second. All right. The chair's going to make a rule. What the gentlelady said was, we can take this outside if you want. And
Okay, so
that could mean you could go outside and have a cup of coffee or perhaps a beer, or, I mean, we have
seriously,
lots of conversations outside.
So there's James Comer, right? That's the guy's name I was trying to think of. James Comer is saying, "Oh, you want to take us outside so we can have a cup of coffee? You want to take us outside so we can have a drink of beer? We can have this debate over No, it's crystal clear that Nancy Mace was saying, do you want to take us outside because are you ready to throw down? Are you ready to throw down? And you can maybe say, is it going to be a street fight? Is it going to be a boxing, match? Is it going to be some kind of duel? And then the rules of a duel is that one person challenges the duel and then the other person gets to choose the weapons, right? And then there's, a whole bunch of things. So it's like people try to be for decorum, but ultimately, let's go to the Chaplinsky decision, okay? So it's clear to me that Nancy Mace meant, do you want to take a step outside? Do you want to take this outside in terms of let's fight? You're sitting there saying what you're saying and it's pissing me off to a point. Let's fight. So who is contuming who? Because I feel like, all right, let's go to Chaplinsky decision. What does Chaplinsky? This is a Supreme Court case, Chaplinsky v. New Hampshire, 1942. So while I am a free speech absolutist, there are exceptions to the rule. We have the right to speak. We have the right for freedom. I also like Jim Carrey's rules. Violence shouldn't happen because of words. So words shouldn't lead to violence. You've seen battle raps. You've seen, heated arguments, heated debates. Hell, even watching the Prime Minister questions. There's that thing that they do in Parliament where they have the leader of the opposition and they go back and forth. And I feel like those exchanges are actually very educational and informative to the public at large. But are they talking to each other or are they talking to the camera? Are they trying to have a civil conversation to figure out the truth and try to figure out, what is right and what is wrong? Or are they putting on a little bit of a theater here? So what the Chaplinsky v. New Hampshire decision came up with is there are instances when a person could say fighting words. They could say fighting words. I could think of a few instances right now off the top of my head. You're arguing with a guy and then you say, well, your woman is just a big old whore. And then, hey, you little whore, yeah, I got $50. You want me to, can I take that whore to the hotel and give her a little $50 and a little something extra? When I think about the Chris Rock and Will Smith fight, right? He just made a little joke saying G.I. Jane, she's bald, she has no hair. Hey, I loved you in G.I. Jane. But what he didn't say was, man, the way you made Will Smith look like a bitch. You made him look like a bitch on camera because you're cheating on him with that other guy who's the same age as your son. You were cheating on him and then you got him onto the red table to make him look like a fucking chump. You made him say that he was hurt, but you weren't going to take responsibility for your own behavior, for your own actions. It was like he had to apologize you for you cheating. Oh, shit. You made him look like a bitch-ass bitch. So that would be, I think, in the business. There is a difference between joshing somebody. There is a difference between chiding somebody. Right? There's a difference between, it's okay to Josh, it's okay to Randy. But it's not okay to harpoon somebody. It's not okay to go for blood. not in civil discourse, to go for blood. Now, if it's a great debate, if it's a great rap battle, if it's a great argument, with the parliament or whatever, I guess I go back and forth. The rule is you got freedom of speech, so Jim Carrey is right. You can't get into violence, you can't get into fight just because of words. Now, words can also be threats, words can also be accusations. So there's actually several exceptions to freedom of speech. Yeah, you could just sing a lullaby and sing your heart out, all the livelong day. But let's go back to the Chaplinsky v. New Hampshire, 1942 case. Walter Chaplinsky, a Jehovah's Witness, he's going to get arrested for calling a police officer a goddamned racketeer. A damned fascist. You goddamned racketeer. You're a damn fascist. That's what you are. And then that was justification to get him arrested? No, people were pissed off. He's being a Jehovah's Witness and he's saying things that people don't like. So he's being just like Christ. Jesus Christ was very much non-violent, but militantly non-violent in the Pharisees and the Sadducees' faces. You're not doing right, and I'm going to call you out, and I'm going to keep on calling you out. So just saying a name, just calling somebody a name, a goddamned racketeer, a damn fascist. So if we go back to the exchange with Nancy Mace and Jasmine Crockett, which I think we've all heard it. I don't know. Do I want to go back to replaying it the whole time? I don't want to go back to replaying it. You heard it. So you have Jasmine Crockett. She did call her a child. And people want to say, oh, it's child. Oh, it's not child, it's child. So somehow we could say that child means something else. Well, what does child mean to you? She was calling her a child. She crystal clearly was calling her a child. She was also insulting her, saying it looks like somebody's campaign coffers. You're needing money, so you're sitting there trying to say a bunch of things because you're doing the campaign coffers. So, in a way, she's kind of accusing her as being disingenuous. You don't actually believe in these issues. You're just trying to make money for your campaign. And then she was saying child, and I don't even know where she was going with that. Let me tell you something, child. You saw how she flicked her hair. So that's a gesture. Child, that's name calling. For the Chaplinsky decision, that's fighting words too. That's fighting words too. You know what else would be fighting words? Somebody promising that they're going to do something and then they break their contract. When it comes to the rules of nature, if, man is an animal, well, man is also rational. So the rules of nature is, number one, you got a right to defend yourself. Number two, you have a right to engage in contracts. And then number three, you have a right to have those contracts enforced. So there's, more, but that's justice. You made a contract, so therefore you got to perform the contract that you made. If you don't perform the contract that you made, then the words and the things that we're saying to each other is all in vain, and that's going to lead to war. So for Hobbes, that's the entire thing for justice. And then he goes on and says that you need to have fair judges. There's gratitude and distributive. There's 19, and I've actually seen about 24. This is actually a great project for any two people in America who wants to try to get along with one another. Start with the rules of nature. Start with the laws of nature. So the point of the laws of nature is we're trying to prevent people from going to war. And so, yeah, it's more explicit. Do you want to take us outside? But when you're, talking down to somebody and giving people faces and flicking your hair, and then you call them a child, name calling, I've gone back and forth. I believe name calling is abusive. Stephen Colbert will get on, and it's funny. It's funny when he, will cap on somebody. He says, here's a man who looks like he just stole candy from a baby. If it's like a picture of Mitch McConnell being all angry. Here's a picture of Mitch the snitch, the bitch, something. So, name calling can be abusive. Name calling is abusive. For the debate, for the rap battle, I can see how it's not, but it is. Name calling is abusive. Name calling is abusive. if in the middle of the conversation, if they just kept calling each other, bitch-ass piece of shit. All right, listen here, you bitch-ass piece of shit. You need more money for your campaign coffers. Yeah, I ain't going to call you a child. I'm going to call you a bitch-ass piece of shit. And then, hey, you ain't going to call me a bitch-ass piece of shit. You're a bitch-ass piece of shit. Oh, I ain't no bitch-ass. You're the bitch-ass. No, you're the bitch-ass. No, you're the bitch-ass piece of shit. We're not having any kind of conversation. All we're saying is, I hate not just your argument. I don't hate the things that you're saying. I don't hate your position. I don't hate your opinion. I hate your person. I hate your soul. I hate the body and the mouth that's spitting this opinion out. I don't like you as a person. I'm showing contempt. I'm showing hatred for you. So when he said you're a goddamned racketeer, you're a damned fascist, well, in today's parlance, that seems pretty, that seems pretty low-key. That seems pretty mild. So if a cop is allowed to arrest somebody for being called a racketeer or being called a fascist, then that means Nancy Mace could arrest, theoretically, if she's a police officer, you could do a citizen's arrest, and there might be some kind of congressional arrest as well. But Nancy Mace could try to, arrest Jasmine Crockett. And I'm not saying that it's to the level of arrest. What I'm saying is both of them were saying fighting words. Jasmine Crockett was saying fighting words. Nancy Mace was saying fighting words. They both were saying fighting words. And if you listen to the entire conversation, I bet you there was more fighting words to where, before when it interrupts. Both were saying fighting words. They both were saying fighting words. Child can mean a million different things. No, it means one thing. And if that's just your parlance, then y'all need to stop goddamn insulting people. Child, you don't even know who you're talking to right now. Oh, because you're the adult and I'm the child. No, that's insulting. That's name calling. That's like saying racketeer or a fascist. It's not as crystal clear as you want to take it outside. And then even to be clear, they tried to wiggle out of this. And I've had similar things that had happened to this before. And it had to do with Andy Brashear. Andy Brashear eventually became a part of the damn thing too. And then recently Andy Brashear had said that you're supposed to be a man of your word when it comes to whether or not Trump is supposed to finance the stuff that he said he was going to finance. And that's interesting, But I'll go back to that here in a second. Let's listen to some more of this.
So, I'm going to rule that it was, just
That it's okay.
that it's okay.
All right, and then Bonnie and Curry.
And remember, this is a slippery slope you're going down, because we have.
Oh, you're going down the slippery
committee, as you
slope.
know.
So just to be clear, in this committee, we can ask threaten violence on someone as long excuse me.
I did not threaten violence. I threatened no violence.
There was
I
no
threatened no
There was
violence.
no violence.
As long as at the end.
Don't create a
I
false
threatened no
question.
violence.
So, listen to everything that just happened there. So, at first they were saying that you're going down the slippery slope, and then somebody said, ooh. No, you're the one going down the slippery slope. Ooh. What's the point of that ooh guy? Sometimes a person could just have an exchange with somebody else, but then you throw a third fucking person in there that just kind of pours the salt into the wounds, right? Well, you need to brush your teeth more. Oh, yeah, I need to brush my teeth more. Well, you don't seem like you take a bath, nor do you wear any damn deodorant. And then if it's just that, then, maybe they could part ways. One person said something rude and disrespectful. Somebody else said something rude and disrespectful. But then if you got that third person that's like, oh, damn, he just told you ain't shit. He just said you and your mama and your grandmama, your whole goddamn lineage, you all ain't shit. Oh, that's fighting words right there. Oh, shit, son. Oh, son. Oh, shit, son.
You're making shit up as you go along. You might want to figure this one out.
Order. There was
Mr. Chairman, cursing today.
no violence.
Mr. Chairman,
No violence.
I'm going to appeal the rule.
See, now he's just saying no violence, no violence. So clearly he's on the side of Nancy Mace. But this exact situation had happened to me, when I ran for lieutenant governor. there's actually a court case here, and I guess I'll have to come back to this, but not Masters v. Masters, it was Masters v. Commonwealth of Kentucky, and it has to do with brief for the appellant, brief for the appellee, Andy Brashear right there. He was the Attorney General at the time. And then, yeah, this fucking guy. I want to say John Gerhardt Landon fucked my fucking case up. He fucked my fucking case up. Ronald Pence. Do I know Ronald Pence? I'm not sure if I know Ronald Pence or not. But I know John Gerhardt Landon fucked up my entire case. That bitch-ass piece of shit. As soon as I started talking to him, he started fucking issuing fighting words. Being a disrespectful motherfucker. And since, at the time, I didn't know, I read this one book that had said, Dale Carnegie, that says that argumentation and criticism never works. You never convince another person by arguing with them or criticizing them. Eventually, it's a Pyrrhic victory if they give in to exhaustion, but it's not because they were convinced by what you had said. And so that I've always prevented me from kind of trying to steamroll over people or trying to raise my voice and just say, no, you're going to listen to me. But that John Gerhardt Landon, that motherfucking piece of shit, the moment he fucking talks to me, I was able to get a decent public defender, not a pretender, but a defender, which was awesome. And it had to do with, a guy said he was going to do some surveys for me, a principal, and then I go up to him and I say, where's the surveys? And he just hands them back to me. I didn't do them. And then I was just supposed to fucking leave. And then I was like, I asked him a couple more questions. I thought you were the principal. I thought that, why didn't she do it? Can I go ask her myself, I was going to get 3 no's before just walking away, but by the time I said, but you're the principal, how's that possible? And he goes, you just need to leave. So yeah, I definitely, motherfucker was threatening me. So it's okay to spout off a bunch of bullshit. It's okay to lie about a contract and a verbal agreement. It's okay to lie about a verbal agreement. It's okay to lie about you were being pleasant and nice, and then you were threatening the other person. I'm not going to do your fucking survey, so you better fucking leave. Or what? If I don't fucking leave, what's going to happen? You're going to put your hands on me? You're going to call somebody? They're going to put their hands on me? That's a fucking threat. You better leave or else, right? You better leave or else. And so I told that guy, well, do you just want to take us outside? And then he was stunned because he was Mr. fucking, this short-ass fucking bald motherfucking piece of shit. Yeah, you got the title. You got the title that you're somebody that's important. But you're treating people not how you want to be treated. If I told you I was going to do a thing and then I came back and said, I didn't get it done, and I don't give a shit if I get it done, and actually on top of that, you need to get out of my face, get out of the room that you're in. You just need to go back to your goddamn house. I'm a straight A student, valedictorian. Graduated college, so I'm one of the best students of Kentucky, and this is how fucking goddamn public education fucking motherfuckers treat you. This is how douchebag fucking principal treats you. I'm sitting there doing work for a graduate school. And then why did he have a problem with the surveys? I was asking if the high school students were learning the 3 branches of government. Are you teaching the students the 3 branches of government? Are you teaching them civics? Are you teaching them about enumerated powers? Are you teaching them about civil liberties and the rule of law? Because when it comes to immigrants, they got to pass, a citizenship test where the immigrant actually knows more about this country than the average Kentuckian does. Because it's not about education in the public schools. It's about shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. So this John Gerhardt Landon is going to fuck up my fucking case because he starts being a rude-ass piece of shit to me. And I didn't know at the time that I'm supposed to steamroll back over him. And if you can't get your job done, then I'm going to have to do something else. Why don't you just take your name off this fucking case? He's eventually going to say, just go ahead and live your life and don't even worry about that. His advice is awful. This fucking bitch-ass piece of shit. He was supposed to be my public defender when it came to the appeals court, but he fucked me. He fucked me over. So I guess we'll have to get back to that. We'll listen to this some more.
Rolling in the chair?
Chairman,
I'm going to
have a point of inquiry. And I apologize because I had a meeting and came right down. Is it true that Ms. Mace was belittled by being called a child? Is that against our rules?
I would have to look up the rules. I don't know that it's
I'd like to
specifically in
feel
the
the
rules. We
rules.
asked for proper
Well,
decorum.
can we strike it?
I would have to look up the rules. Everybody's asking, is that against the rules? Is this against the rules? Why don't you motherfuckers know what the rules are? Why don't y'all know what the goddamn rules are? Holy shit!
Then, I'd like to have it stricken.
Okay. Now,
I'd have Ms. Crockett's word stricken then.
there's a motion. You
Yeah,
have a motion, Mr. Frost?
I move to appeal the ruling of the chair.
There's a motion to appeal the ruling of the chair. Chair recognizes Mr. Gosar.
And there's also a motion to strike words, Mr. Chairman.
I move to table, Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion.
Motion to take down words, sorry.
There's a motion to table.
You know, in my heart of hearts, the ideal, I would like for people to be friends, and I would like for them to engage in conversation and dialogue with good intentions, with the intentions of trying to find out the objective truth, for trying to find out what is the morality thing here, to understand the other person's position, to be able to empathize with the other person, to walk around in their skin, to consider what they're saying, and to, you know, if it makes sense, to adopt it, have that become a part of them. If they're just on some bullshit, then you can't hear it. But if, you know, clearly both of these ladies feel very passionate about what each side is saying. So one is talking about civil liberties and civil rights, and then the other one is talking about, if, you know, since she's a female, she don't want to go into the bathroom and feel uncomfortable because there's a man there. But is woman not man in some respect? Yeah, she's a feminine version of man, but aren't we all Homo sapiens? Aren't we all humankind? You know, I've been raped. And so, shouldn't I feel safe when I go to the bathroom? Does that mean I'm allowed to have laws where, I don't know. I see both sides. One is saying civil liberties, and then Jasmine Crockett is saying we need to protect civil liberties. And we do need to protect civil liberties. That's supposed to be the American, you know, ideal. But Nancy Mace is saying it was about women's, men in, males in female sports. And if you saw that swimmer, that male swimmer, transgendered, who was, you know, being a woman or whatever, he was mopping the floor with the female swimmers. Why? Because men are physically stronger. And so, since men are physically stronger, then that means the average man can swim faster than even some of the best female swimmers out there. And that's not even me trying to brag. That's just me saying something that's obviously true. So I'm not against the idea of not allowing males to be a part of female sports, or vice versa, having females a part of male sports. Maybe you could try some sort of experiment where you got some sort of co-ed sport. And until man actually hits puberty, before puberty, boy and girls, they're pretty equal. They're pretty equal, but then I guess even then they're kind of a little bit stronger. I don't know. I'm not for sure about that. What I am saying is, I would like for them to not kiss and make up, but it'd be nice to see them shake hands or understand each other's viewpoint, you know. My perspective is this, but I respect you get to say your opinion. You get to say your opinion, I get to say my opinion, and then we decide, and then we figure this out. So I would like for everybody to just sing Kumbaya and be the bestest of friends.
The motion is not debatable okay, the motion is not debatable. All those in favor of, okay. We're going to vote on the motion to table by Mr. Gosar, to table Mr. Frost's appeal. So the motion is not debatable. As all in favor of Mr. Gosar's motion to table Mr. Frost's amendment or motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.